So the next thing I'm going to do is to put the axle into the jig. I'll get the axle. Right, now I need to slide that to one end, like that. Measure the gap in here. Right, 114.2, and now need to set the width in here to half that gap, so you slide that now across there. That's that side. Check it should be the same this side. Right, absolutely spot on. So that's now set in the correct position across the jig. And just put these in, helps to hold it. So that's the next bit, and the seat stays out, the chain stays out now. Right, so these are the chain stays, but they're no good like they are. I have to put a bend in here, so that's the next little job. Okay, so we're going to now bend the chain stays, and I use this little wooden former block. I use this block actually for bending fork blades, for putting the rake on the fork blades, but I also use it for the bending the chain stays. So basically it's just a wooden block with a radius through there, and it's got a clamp at the end here to sort of support the other end of the tube when I'm bending it. So we'll just put the tube in here and screw that down. Okay, so we just literally bend it. Bend it like that. So that's basically what we need to do. And they've both got to be about the same. And bring the other one the same. a little bit more of this one. Right, so that's just about as good as we're going to get them. So they're okay, and then they go onto the bottom bracket and form the chain stays. So having bent them, we've now got to mitre the end, this end, to fit the axle, and this end to fit the bottom bracket. So that's the next job to do. Okay, so we're now going to machine the end, or the bottom bracket end of the chainstay. Now I've set this up, the first one, I've set this up in the milling machine. Again, I'm using my aluminium blocks. They're all the same size, so I know the centre is the same for all of them, no matter what size tube I fit in. And basically lined up this curve on the tube centrally that way, and set it at an angle of 7 degrees, which is what I need to match the bottom bracket. So basically we're all set to go. I'm just going to now turn the machine on and machine that side. It's as simple as that. That's okay. Right, so now I've just got to set the other stay up and machine that the same, and then we can look at doing the other end to suit the length between the bottom bracket and the axle, and to fit the axle tube. Right, so I'll now carry on and do that, and we'll get to the next operation very shortly. Right, so we're all set now on the milling machine to do the other end of the chainstay. So on this setup, basically I've got a wooden block which fits the tube at this end, and this end that represents the bottom bracket, so I know that fits and is at the right angle, because I've got some setting pieces here for the right angle. So that's the setup for the cutting the other end, and it just remains to run the machine through there. And try that on the in the frame, and this end has to be trued up finely after I've brazed the frame up, or brazed the stays up to the bottom bracket. There's the two stays and the intermediate bracing piece, which I have to make later on, and they all have to be absolutely in line, so they have to be trimmed up afterwards, so it's not critical on the length for these. So anyway, I'll try that on the jig. Okay, so that is actually fine for the moment. I'll do the other one to suit, so they're both the same, and then we'll get on to the next stage. Right, I've just drilled the holes for the bottle bosses in the seat tube and the down tube. And we're having bottle bosses in the front and in the back of the seat tube, and also on the down tube, just one set in the down tube. So they're all drilled and ready to fit the bosses in. The bosses, I put a reinforcing plate in, a diamond reinforcing plate, so that's on all of them, because the tubes are quite thin, and it just helps to reinforce the area. So now we've just got the, move that a bit, we've just got the seat tube to do, so much the same as the other one. Just put some flux around the hole. Pop the boss on. That's that one. That's the seat tube done. Right, I'll just clean that up, and then we've got some cleaning up with the tubes to do before they go into the jig again, so that I can braze the frame together. So there we go. Right, so I'm now going to just clean up the inside of the tubes where they've got to be brazed because they can't have any oil or grease in there. So I'm using a Dremel and just basically clean round each tube. Just clean round each tube like that. Right, so